Scally's ball back to Richards. Chris Richards starting all 3 Premier League games so far, played 90 minutes in the 1-1 draw at Chelsea on Sunday for Crystal Palace. It's Palace's first point of the season after losses against Brentford and West Ham. Played up towards Balogun. He'll skip the first challenge, but loses out to Choinière. Aronson chasing. Alphonso Davies named Canadian captain by Jesse Marsh. Rough and tumble once again down the right side. David, the Lille forward, just tugged back there by Johnny Cardoso. And we're almost at the half-hour mark here in Kansas City. It's the first time Canada has scored first against the US on US soil in 19 games, all the way back to 1985. But Schaffelberg's goal is the difference through half an hour here. The US lined up along the edge of the box as Eustachio plays it short for Choinière. Ahmed's ball floated in towards the back post. The 2 central defenders both going for the same ball there, Cornelius and Bombito. Lund. Tillman turning. Ream talking to us yesterday, saying how well he's settled into Charlotte, how much the standard of MLS has improved since he left it. A completely different league, different environments. He is loving life back in the United States after so long playing in Europe. Aronson across the halfway line finds Lund. Down the left side for Pulisic. Goes out off Larrea here for a US throw. Looked like Lund was just caught there. He's down as the ball is played through the middle. Larin gets onto it. Richards has to defend. Kyle Larin trying to get the shot away. And it's a corner after Schulte got a hand to it.
And here's the turnover, just gets red, and Larin, maybe he could find Schaffelberg right there. He doesn't look up, but what a save that is from Schulte. I mean, watch him leaning to the right, and just adjusts at the last second to stick a hand out and make that save. Wonderful save.
Lund still receiving treatment here.
Saves, by the way, from Schulte.
Donny asked him yesterday what he wants to improve about his game, and he talked obviously about just the all-round game, but he said, I'm good at making the saves I'm supposed to make. The next step to the very elite level is to make those saves no one expects you to make. Those huge stops in the 95th minute to save a point or to win a game for your team. He said, I need to do that more consistently. Certainly a bright future ahead for Patrick Schulte. Can the US break here? Pulisic was closed down quickly. Ahmed and then Choinière winning it back for Canada. Pushed forward down the right side. It's Richie Larrea. And Aronson sliding in with a challenge to put it behind for a corner. Brendan Aronson's 43rd cap today. His first start of the calendar year. In fact, his first start since the 2-1 loss in Trinidad and Tobago last November. Schaffelberg, the goal scorer, coming across to take this corner from the right. The Nashville man swings it high in towards the back post. Schulte comes to claim, and can he get things going quickly here? wasn't much available at the time. He does now find space on the right. Scally inside for Johnny Cardoso. The crossfield ball picking out Lund. A little over 10 minutes to half-time.
And it seems simple, but just that closing down right there, switch of the point of attack, and Ahmed, actually, I don't know if anyone could see it at home, took a little shoulder that obstructed him for a moment. Still, full speed, gets there to close that pass down. I mean, these are the details that are essential to be able to compete, and Canada's doing it everywhere.
Pulisic cutting in from the left side, glides away from Ahmed, and this time he'll get the free kick. Richards and Ream both coming forward from the back here as the US look for an equaliser. Pulisic, the AC Milan man, standing over it. Started all 3 league games so far this season in Serie A. Pulisic's ball whipped into the edge of the box. Scally. Musa along halfway.
Bad luck for the U.S. is Gio Reyna picking up an injury. I mean, this is the type of game where he is so important. His calmness on the ball, his ability to pass and dribble through the lines. And like he said, he was flying in training, looking excellent. Obviously, you feel for a player that's had muscle injuries that has so much talent, but I mean, the U.S. really need him in a game like this.
He started the last 6 games, Gio Reyna, since a substitute appearance against Jamaica in the Nations League semi-final. Pulisic climbing there, drops down for Tillman. No way through. Tillman is down, no free kick given as David brings it forward. Chouanier wide to the left. Davies up against Scally. Aronson back there as well. Brendan Aronson with a couple of goals already this season for Leeds United, returning back there in the English Championship. I saw him score a couple of weeks ago against Sheffield Wednesday in a big derby game at Hillsborough. And the Leeds fans gave him a little bit of a rough welcome back after he decided to leave there when they got relegated. But goals like the one he scored in that derby game a couple of weeks ago on a Friday night in Yorkshire really starting to endear himself back to those Leeds United fans. And they just appreciate someone who gives everything for the cause, and they've certainly seen that from Brendan Aronson.
Well, scoring helps too.
Yes. Headed forward by Richards. Aronson. Johnny Cardoso battling there against Chouanier as it comes back for Richards. Schulte looks long down the left, trying to pick out Pulisic. Larrea will watch that one back to Crépeau. Chouanier just left MLS to go to Grasshoppers from Montreal. Wide for Davies. Davies floats the cross in, and Ali Ahmed will chase. Eustáquio. Now David. Neat play on the edge of the box here as Jonathan David strikes. It was the one chance for Christian Pulisic after the work by Balogun, but apart from that, there hasn't been much to test Maxime Crépeau in the Canada goal.
It's just... absolutely have to give credit to Canada. I mean, look, 8 shots to 1. They're just the game plan is perfect. You knew exactly what was going to happen when they came in. They were going to press. You knew how they were going to press. You knew what they would look like on the ball. And the U.S. have just fallen right into the trap. They've been sloppy in possession. They've been slow. They've been languid, and haven't when they don't have the ball, been anywhere close to matching the intensity that Canada's been showing to close down and get a piece of everyone and make it a difficult day.
Tillman for Cardoso, and wide to the right it goes towards Scally on that far side. Scally with the early cross into the middle, too far in front of Balogun. Laryea up in the air. Crépeau will come a long way to claim it. And Crépeau gets things going quickly. Ali Ahmed waits for support. Ahmed, the Toronto-born midfielder. He's 23 years old. Pulisic. He gets away from Choinière here. And then Choinière stuck with Christian Pulisic. Pulisic slamming the ground in frustration.
And the referee's letting a lot go. It's a few times Pulisic has been able to get by his defender, and just a little tug, a little pull is the reason there's a successful challenge eventually. He's letting all that stuff go.
Richards. Back to Schulte once more. He's been heavily involved in the first half, Patrick Schulte, with a couple of saves, but a lot of the ball at his feet. Scally down the right, cutting inside on Schaffelberg. Now this is Yunus Musah. Musah was fouled. And Canada just standing in the way there. First it was Larin, then it was Jonathan David, and the referee will want a word with the Lille striker. He was making sure the US couldn't take that one quickly. Balogun all the way out on that right side. Cardoso. Scally back towards Richards. Lund finds Pulisic. This is Schaffelberg, the goal scorer forward for Jonathan David. 3 minutes to go until the break, as Laryea plays it forward down the right side and finds Jacob Schaffelberg here. Schaffelberg back towards Jonathan David. Choinière into the path of Alphonso Davies on the far side up against Scally. The trickery from Davies comes all the way to Larin. Schulte has to make a save again. It's put behind by Lund for a corner, but that was too easy.
It'd be 4-0 if it wasn't for Schulte. This is outside of your 18. Just jogging out to go put pressure on the ball. I can understand maybe when Alphonso Davies gets the ball, you don't want to fly at him because of his speed and how dynamic he is, but listen, I'm tired of hearing myself say it. That's the biggest example of the lack of intensity, is not firing out when the ball's outside your 18 and putting pressure on it.
Schulte the standout in the first half so far. Schaffelberg's corner in towards that front post. Schulte needs to deal with it and does. He's had an impressive time of it with Columbus. 2024 CONCACAF Champions Cup best goalkeeper.
Yeah, Pochettino, wherever he is, we're watching this. You know, a player for Bielsa and student of Bielsa, and definitely intensity, discipline, organization. You know, matching competitively any team that you play against. I mean, it's just the minimum he requires. So I would imagine that's where he's got his notebook out. That's where he's going to start.
Laryea getting into it with Balogun. Laryea has the ability to get under the skin of some players.
It's a kind way to say that.
Coming up next, it's the Volkswagen halftime show. The US US second best in this first 45, but can they find a way to level it up before the team's headed at the break? Tillman into the path of Aronson down the far side. He's up against Davies. Wasn't much on for Aronson as Scally now comes to help. Scally certainly not the attack-minded right back that we would get from Serginho Dest on that far side.
Aronson was expecting Scally to be flying around him, and Scally was 30 yards behind him. I think he was surprised that didn't turn into a great opportunity.
US Soccer on TBS is brought to you by Volkswagen, presenting partner of US Soccer, and by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Final seconds of the first half as Lund steps inside. Gets it back from Tillman. There always seems to be a Canadian player to put a foot in and break things up. And now here comes Alphonso Davies storming forward into the US half. Rolled through towards Kyle Larin. Up against Reed. Larin turns it back for Davies on the edge of the box. This time it was Tillman getting a foot in. Ali Ahmed from distance off the back of Johnny Cardoso. Chouanier, now Schaffelberg, up against Scally. Scally with the block. Into 1 minute of time being added on at the end of the first half. Davies back to Cornelius. Davies here for Canada up against Brendan Aronson on the far side. Bayern Munich left back in towards Chouanier. Cornelius looking to switch for Jonathan David. A little bit of space here for David. He'll curl that cross in, and Schulte is able to claim. Larin was the one diving in for Canada, looking to get a head onto it. Fortunately for the United States, Schulte was there and able to deal with it. And that's not the first time we've said that in this first half.
The only comment that should happen at this point after my first half of talking about the mistakes and the lack of intensity is credit to Canada. What an incredible half. Jesse Morris got his team in here. They've executed the game plan to perfection, and the U.S. have to adjust. We'll see if it's through personnel or through a lot of what we said in pregame F-bombs maybe in the locker room from Mikey Varas.
A lot of work to be done by Mikey Varas to try and change things in time for the second half. The United States are trailing Canada by 1-0. It was scored in the 17th minute by Jacob Schaffelberg. And let's get downstairs and get some half-time thoughts of Mikey Varas with Melissa.
Mikey, overall thoughts on this first half performance?
Yeah, we're a little bit too static, so that's clear. And once we deal with the first line of pressure, we're not playing behind or using the switch of play enough. So we have the ball, but we're not really going anywhere. We need to be more brave to play forward and get the tackle on the goal.
Thank you, Mikey.
Stay with us, Sarah Walsh, DeMarcus Beasley and Brian Dunseth with you for the half-time 5 minutes. It was a goal by Jacob Schaffelberg, who plays for Nashville in MLS. 17 minutes into this one, assisted by that man Jonathan David. 1-0, the half-time score for Jesse Marsch and Canada. And it doesn't look as if the teams are making many, if any, changes here for this second 45 minutes. But Mikey Varas, the interim head coach of the US, who's been the under-20s head coach since November of 2021. He reached the quarterfinals of the 2023 Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. Well, I'm sure have had some strong words for his players at halftime.
Yeah, probably not possible to err if we were in there. And let's see if the response happens. I mean, this is a good opportunity to clean slate it. Your keeper kept you in the game. Great performance by Schulte, and now a response is needed.
A big first half from Patrick Schulte, given the start today. His second cap for the United States, the Columbus Crew keeper. And that's why it is only 1-0 as we get underway in the second half here at Children's Mercy Park, the home of Sporting Kansas City. Until the loss against Uruguay in Copa America, the US had never lost in 12 previous games in either Kansas City, Missouri or Kansas City, Kansas. They've never lost here at Children's Mercy Park. 10 previous games here, they've won 8 and drawn 2. 7 clean sheets along the way. It's just the third goal they've conceded in 11 games in this stadium. Jonathan David picking it up here. The referee will pull this one back for a free kick to Canada. US without a shot on target in the first 45 minutes.
Well, there's no foul there, but it's just the advantage wasn't there, so the referee brought it back.
Eustachio, Chouanier and Schaffelberg standing over the ball. This one off the training pitch, headed away though by Lund. Ahmed. Scally will just let this one roll out for a throw. Here's Melissa Ortiz.
Luke and Kyle, you said maybe the things in the locker room wouldn't be appropriate to air, but as I was just standing near the tunnel, near the players, there was F-bombs being thrown left and right just to pump up the team, and they kept on saying first tackle before this half initiated. Now, in terms of what interim Mikey Vargas has shared with me in terms of what he told to the team, he said the mentality needs to change. They have to have a better mentality, and apart from that, just tactically, he said they need to play vertical, look to go forward.
Mikey Barras said to us yesterday that he wanted to make sure that groundwork was laid in this camp to move on from Copa America and move forward into the transition that the new head coach will bring. They have 45 minutes to try and take something positive from this game. Tim Ream across the back. London side for Musa. Musa, the 21-year-old born in New York City. Started one of the first three for AC Milan in Serie A. 20 minutes in the 2-2 draw against Lazio last Saturday. Richards forward down the right, finds Scally. Johnny Cardoso.
Already much better movement off the ball.
Wonderful ball from Johnny Cardoso to the feet of Pulisic. Here's Lund getting forward. And a corner on the far side. Christian Pulisic going across to take it. Ream and Richards both making their way forward into the box. The movement as this one goes towards the penalty spot. Lompito got ahead to it. Tillman with a little back flick. Balogun with the strike. And Maxime Crépeau able to make the save.
Tillman does good. After this shows up, it's a wonderful first touch. He's not going to get a shot off. Little ingenuity with the back heel, and Balogun he just doesn't catch all of it. You can see he just fires it into the ground. That takes a little bit of the steam off it as well. A good start for the U.S.
Balogun yet to open his account in Liga in this season. Eustachio. Eustachio wide to the left, finds Alphonso Davies. Davies being tracked back here by Aronson. Davies with a ball in towards the edge of the box. Richards clears it away. Now Davies gets his way towards the byline. It's Alphonso Davies. Pulls this one back into the box. Hit the legs of Musa. Richards clears it away. Tillman. Now Lund brings it forward up towards halfway. Tillman shrugs off the challenger, Chouanier. Positive play here from the US. Balogun making the run through the middle. It's Balogun with a strike. Crépeau got the save. And then it's driven wide by Lund.
Yeah, really well done here to play out of this pressure and And watch Lund just drive. We talked about it before the game, his strength, his speed. Great run from Christian Pulisic to just draw defender in a wide position, perfectly timed. Balogun takes a look over his shoulder to see he's going to have space to get that shot off. It's a good save, and that's obviously on the weaker foot of Lund. You know, a few things that are absolutely noticeable in this second half. Intensity is a little bit better, but on the ball with the U.S., we're seeing the interchanging. We've seen Christian Pulisic start in central positions and Lund stay wide. They're not staying on the same line, making things very predictable. The verticality is there because of those interchanging positions. It's dynamic, movement off the ball, all the things we didn't see in the first half. Yeah, they've started this game with, and that's one of the reasons that they're getting on the front foot and getting at Canada.
Alphonso Davies receiving treatment at the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you're really, really, really fast. He's coming through, and he just tries to hop over. And there isn't a lot of distance between that end line. Just jumps over those boards.
Davies, a 5-time Bundesliga winner with Bayern Munich, won the Champions League in 2020. Hasn't scored for Canada since a 3-2 loss in the Nations League in the quarterfinals last November against Jamaica. He did score 1 goal against the US in October of 2019 in the Nations League game. A brighter start to this second half for the US. Crepeau will take the goal kick. 1 clean sheet in 15 starts for Portland Timbers this year. An MLS Cup winner in 2022, Maxime Crepeau with LAFC. Broke his leg in the final and missed the World Cup in Qatar because of that. Balogun turning. And the referee has called a free kick here and given a yellow card to Balogun. It's Cornelius that's down.
I mean, from the first, watching that live, it looked like Cornelius grabbed Balogun, and Balogun was trying to throw off the challenge of being grabbed from behind. And the moment's right here, right when he gets turned, which is a lovely little play, takes a touch. And yeah, it's just his arm gets up high. Cornelius is leaning down, trying to make a challenge. Not sure if he's intending to make contact that high. That's what the referee calls. I don't think there's any intention in that.
Balogun with goals in the first 2 Copa games against Bolivia and Panama. 7 goals last year in 29 league games for Monaco. Next up for the United States, it's New Zealand in Cincinnati on Tuesday. Their first meeting since 2016, a 4th all-time. The US never losing to New Zealand. A couple of wins and 1 draw. Canada will head to Arlington, Texas to take on Mexico on Tuesday as well. Derek Cornelius still receiving treatment here. 26-year-old from just outside of Toronto. Scored his first MLS goal here in this stadium against Kansas City for the Whitecaps back in May of 2019. A couple of starts in Ligue 1 since his move to Marseille, including 90 minutes in a 3-1 win against Toulouse on Saturday when he came up against US man Mark McKenzie, who was on the bench.
And for Jesse Marsch, really at this point after such a good first half, and during the pregame show I referenced the incredible first half they had against Argentina, the eventual winners of Copa America. It's just so impressive. Just one of the better performances. I mean, they created a ton of opportunities against Argentina. They pressed, they did everything in that game that they did in this game, but starting in the second half, right at the beginning, Canada gave the ball away cheaply and Argentina go up 1-0. So even though the US is on the front foot, they're getting back into it. Jesse Marsh's side has to play comfortably with a lead. Don't give up cheap opportunities. Don't give the ball away easily. That was one thing that got them a little bit in Copa America.